Okay, so I would just like to kind of go over how to read one of these, because when we get into the actual video with this one that actually works, you're not going to be able to see the numbers that well. So, I'm going to show you how on the harder one, because that has convenient labeling. So, we can look right here for today's purposes. We're only going to be using these voltages. So, that will be 300 volts, 200 volts, 20 volts, 2 volts. And remember that this is always maximum, so that means that's a maximum it can read on that setting. If you have 25 volts and you set it to 20 volts, try to read it, you're not going to be able to. And then same here for amperage, but of course we have microamps and milliamps and all that. So this will be 2,000 microamps, this will be 20 milliamps, 200 milliamps, and 10 amps. But ignore the battery thing, because we're not going over that today. Pretty self-explanatory though, probably. Then for here, this is actually resistance. This is the symbol for ohms. We have 20,000 ohms, 200,000 ohms, 200 ohms, all that. Okay, so I am the analyzer. Today I'm going to be showing you, in part 2 of the circuit series, how to use a multimeter. So in part 1, we showed you how to build a circuit, which is of course the first step in this video. And the next thing we're going to want to do, since I'm going to want to read voltage first, so I'm going to want to set my multimeter to 20 volt maximum. And the reason I want to do this is because if I set it to 2 volt maximum, as you can see, we should be putting out 3 volts of power or somewhere around that number, and that's going to be too great for the 2 volts to read. So the first thing I'm going to do is I touched these 2 prongs to different points in the circuit. So we get 2.36 volts. And we know that's somewhere around 3 volts. So that's probably correct. And then we're going to want to read amperage next. So I'm going to set this to 2,000 microamps. And then I'm going to touch, again, 2 points in the circuit. When I do that, we're going to get 316, okay, 312, somewhere around there, microamps. And then we're going to want to read resistance. And to do that, we're going to actually disconnect this circuit and then touch 2 points on one of the disconnected wires. And for this, I'm going to set it on, again, the minimum that this thing has, which is going to be 200 ohms. We get 0.1 ohms. And this thing being a $15 multimeter isn't going to be exact, so I find on the resistance, I get anywhere from 0.1 to 0.6 ohms. And that concludes how to use your multimeter. Okay, so a couple things I want to mention here, since, again, you could not exactly see the details as much so. And the other one is, first of all, when you have it on measuring ohms, it actually runs electricity from the cables out into the wire you're measuring. So you do got to be careful, first of all, to have your circuit not connected. And second of all, to make sure you're not using on something in any capacity to fry it. Although with the normal multimeter, the power should not be high enough to hurt you, which you can actually make sure it's working by sticking it on your tongue, and similar to a 9 volt battery, you'll be able to more or less taste the electricity. And also, you gotta make sure you know the rating for your multimeter. This one, like the one I used in my video, is 300 volts, which I actually broke this one, as you can see, nothing, because I hooked it up to my taser, which is of course way too strong for this thing to measure.